All right, guys, welcome back. I know it's been a little bit of time here. This is episode 5. We got Coach Edwards. He is the new head men's basketball coach over at West Brunswick. I want to thank you for coming in, man. And as you can tell, this is not my taller co-parent here. This is Nolan over here. He's usually our behind-the-scenes camera. Coach Myatt had a medical emergency. He is not able to be in here, so hopefully your thoughts and prayers are going to be with him. Again, this is kind of hosted here at Shakalaka Bowls of Ocean Isle Beach. This is kind of what we do of trying to stay around, being with youth sports, local sports, and everything. Last episode, we had the amazing Coach Tillian. I know you sent it around the whole community. Hopefully, they could see it a little bit. I know she had a good time. We're hoping we have a good time here. Also, that are sponsors with us, we have We Oversee Home Maintenance Repairs. That's Coach Myatt's business. And we have, Nolan, you want to reach out to yours?
Yeah, social site marketing. We're handling all marketing from Wilmington to Myrtle Beach.
So I kind of, on the side, I was planning on WA kind of taking the reins. Usually I'm kind of the louder, more talking in these, and I was kind of hoping WA would take this one. I had my wisdom teeth taken out yesterday.
No way.
Yesterday. All 4 pulled, cut these 2. So I'm on maybe like a can of soup and some ibuprofen and some Tylenol. So if I feel a little loopy, that may be why it is. But nah, we're all good here. We're going to keep it rolling a little bit. Basketball season is finally here. Football season had a great season. All the fall sports had such a good year this year. We were able to hit on with a couple with Coach Andy, Coach Fletcher, and now track's coming in. We just want to, just being biased, huge basketball fan, of course. I'm so excited for basketball season. I'm ready to be there. First game Thursday. JV boys start at what time?
JV girls start at 3:30.
3:30. JV boys
3:35, and then
6, 7:30, something like that. Yeah, it kind of goes.
Start about 6 or 6:30.
It'll start on time because Coach Reeves will make sure it'll start on time. I will promise you that.
I'm sure it will.
But we are excited to be there, man. Coach Myatt and I are both going to be there. We're going to be able to take some notes and hopefully bring you and Coach Smiley on another time later in the season, just kind of catch up and stuff like that.
For sure.
So, you are new this year. I know you're from Lumberton area, from where you came from there, but where. Tell us where you're from, playing time, coaching time, where you grew up, stuff like that. Give us a little bit.
Sure. Been a head coach now for 13 years. It's my 13th year. I played basketball at Milligan College. I actually graduated from South Columbus High School. Played basketball there, played baseball, played multiple sports. Went to Milligan College, played basketball, and graduated from there. Went to Liberty University. That's where I started my graduate assistant, became director of basketball operations, and did some other stuff there for a few years. And long story short, I wanted to a more of a not normal life, but I was I didn't enjoy the 17, 18-hour days on the road. I was about to take a job out in Iowa in the Midwest and as an assistant JUCO coach and doing all that stuff, and I was like, this ain't for me. I'd rather be on the floor coaching, and so Coach Layer, who is my head coach now, and at the time, he's at Maryland now under Buzz Williams, but he told me, he said, the best coaching is high school coaching.
Yeah.
And, being at 23 years old, I was like, man, I want to be the next, like, Roy Williams. Like, I feel like I'm on track to be that guy.
Yeah.
And, it hit me pretty quick that, I'm not going to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So, took the first high school job at South Columbus. That was a struggle. And, first year won 2 games, I think. Next year won 6. Next year won like 8 or 9. Then we ended up winning 23, 24 games.
Wow.
One of my last year there, we 23 games, I think. And had a pretty good team. Left actually a pretty good team as well. They ended up the next year that brought everybody back, and took the job at Lumberton.
Okay.
Went to Lumberton 2019, the year before COVID. First year, instilling new stuff, kind of what I'm doing now. Took over programs, kind of funny, who won 15 games the year before.
Yeah.
So it is not like I took over a program that was just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took over a program with some good athletes, with some, won 15 games the year before. It's not like, the head coach got fired or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was more of a job was open, they reached out, and I took it type deal. And, took it with the Robinson County, negative mindset in the back of my head, like I don't know how to approach this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get there, man. I loved it. The kids were awesome. Basketball was their thing. Like
that's what I was gonna ask. Like Lumberton, like what is Lumberton about? Like what do you when you talk about that community and the sports programs there? Like what would you say that it's kind of about? Because I don't know much about it, honestly. I drive through it every time when I go home to Asheboro kind of area, but
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's it gets a bad reputation because of the community.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the community is rough.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my first year there, I get to school, there's caution tape in the ditch, somebody threw a dead body right in it. I'm telling you, Lumberton's a different place.
Yeah.
But the people there, they were awesome to work for.
Yeah.
I mean, the coaches were great. Players, really good athletes. But they bought in. A lot of them come from rough situations, and they love some basketball.
Yeah.
They love some basketball. So I just came in, hit the ground running, showed them I cared just a little bit, and they just sold out to it.
Yeah.
First year, obviously, we got to the state championship,
Yeah.
and COVID hit, and that whole situation happened. But people forget about the next year. The next year, we lost 2 or 3 starters, but brought some pretty good dudes back. Went back to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
That year, we lost by 1 in overtime in Millbrook, and heartbreaker too.
Yeah.
And Millbrook ended up winning the state championship by 26 or something.
Yeah, I know.
26,
The
27.
thought process of what ifs kind of thing.
I'm telling you, like but whenever you start winning games like that, that happens more. But then when I look back at South Columbus and the years I won 2 games, 4 games, 6 games, it was like, man, I was coaching so much harder then.
Yeah. No, you really are.
But and then people think like, I won a lot of games at Lumberton, so I just know how to win. I know the problem is I know what it's like to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's the whole thing about winning. It's just and that's what I'm trying to get them to understand. My whole big thing to our players now at West Brunswick, it's about it's not about the enjoyment of winning.
Yeah.
Winning is fun.
Yeah.
But you gotta hate losing.
Yep.
If you hate losing more than you enjoy winning, you'll start winning a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And that's that's kind of the just a switch I'm trying to turn to them right now, just to hate lose, hate to lose, refuse to lose. And there's some good competitors. You obviously know. We'll get into who we got for this season here soon. But I enjoyed Lumberton. It was good timing to make a transition to West Brunswick, but definitely glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, when I remember when I told Coach Fletcher, we were talking about that I was finally gonna step away to come do this. I was like, man, keep me in the loop. Just tell me who you got. Like, if I know them, I want to have some type of input kind of thing. When he was talking, you were one of the applicants. I was like, I don't know him personally kind of thing, but I knew just coaching against him and, your history at Lumberton. I didn't know you were at South Columbus. You actually went to Lumberton the year that I came to West, because I came the year before COVID, pretty much. I guess that same year. Yeah. I was like, man, if anybody can do it with the athletes that we got, I was like, this is definitely the guy, who can do it, and proven winner kind of thing. And I think, like you said, kind of to bounce off of that is, people, all they see is the wins. They never see the seasons that you struggled through that made you, not only you a better coach, but made your teams better, because that's when the winning happened. Fighting through all that, learning the process of losing, learning how to win, and now you're teaching them, to hate losing more than they love winning. And I feel like that's the, why we kind of do this, and Coach Tilley made a good point of it. This gives kind of a stage for coaches to be able to be heard a little bit, because no one ever wants to hear us talk. They only want us to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth sometimes.
And they want to tell us.
And they want to tell us what they can do from 3 bleachers back. And I think this is a good spot for that, because I think some of the things that people don't understand is the toughest years, man. Some of those are the best. Some of the best years I enjoyed coaching were the ones that we struggled the most, because
that's where you tell your most stories too.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of the times that, like, right now to my current team, when I look back and tell stories of how we got where we got, was because of those teams.
Yep.
It's not because the teams who were just rolling.
Yeah.
And it was like clockwork because of the groundwork that happened before. Now it's those teams that laid the groundwork.
Yeah. I agree. And we'll get in again, like you said, we'll get into a little bit more. But let's carry on. And I know we're skipping into, you're coming here. You've got 3 young kids. You said 1, 3, and 4. Is that right?
1, 3, and 4.
1, 3, and 4. So you are balancing that which coaching in itself, if you do it the right way, which you do, it's 10 months out of the year. It's 10 months out of the year. And then you balancing that with a marriage and young kids, like how, and then teaching, you know, that, you know, everybody throws that in the wayside a little bit, but that's your 9 to 5. That's every day, man.
Gosh,
so
absolutely.
how do you do it, man? What's your process? Like what are some things that hold you together with that?
Well, I mean, first, my wife, she's a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, you go to games, you watch games, and if y'all go tomorrow night to the game, whatever, you'll see her coming in by herself with all 3 kids, coming in the back door. She'll every single game, no matter where it's at, she's there. And she's gonna make sure she gets there a little bit early so they can come and give me a hug, and they're gonna be the last ones to leave so they can tell me bye, no matter how late it is, no matter what's going on. And you know, she keeps them up. So when I get home at 8:30, 9 o'clock from practice or whatever the case is, you know, she's going to make sure they stay up until I get home and I can help put them to bed. You know, obviously, because, you know, basketball season's a grind, as you know. It's a long season. It's through 2 semesters. And, you know, I feel like practices get later. And, of course, this horrible time change that it just kills you whenever you get to school before the sun rises. When you leave, the sun's already down. And you're like, man, I ain't get to spend no time with my kids, you know, outside, like nothing. And, you know, when I left, they were asleep. When I get home, you know, they're, you know, getting their teeth brushed and ready for bed. And, you know, that's, you know, those are days that, you know, that she'll shoot me a text, and she knows if it's a long day, you know, hey, you know, hope your day's going good, you know, got dinner ready, like, you
small little things like
kids
that.
Are excited to see you, like stuff that's like, I appreciate that, you know, and I don't even tell her that all the time, you know, but that's a big deal, because if she wasn't the way she was, and she wasn't as supportive as she was, then there's no way I could do it.
We talked about that with everybody who's come on here, just how important that coaching wife is, because I mean they're different breeds for sure.
Oh, you know. Absolutely.
Well, that's you know, that was kind of the groundwork where I was hoping that you would kind of take that to, because I mean those are the people that are behind the scenes, or like, I don't know what your family was, you know, your family like, but you know, my parents were almost every game. My dad was a high school coach, and you know, he was an AD. You know, they were at almost every single away game because they live up in Wilmington, so they're almost every game. You know, just having that supporting cast, that someone that, you know, is going to be there no matter win or lose, you know, bad practice, good practice, you know, you come home to, and you're able, or, you know, bad day, whatever you're doing in work in general, and having that somebody to come home to makes the difference in the world. So you're not having to complain or anything like that. They're just there to listen, you know.
And, you know, my dad was a high school coach for 16 years, I think.
Basketball?
He coached basketball and baseball.
Wow.
And, my brother's a principal at Whiteville High School right now. He coached basketball at West Columbus for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. Now he's in administration. His wife's a guidance counselor.
My family's thick in it.
My sister's an EC teacher. My mom, she was a curriculum coordinator. She retired from teaching. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the store Two Broke Teachers. It's a big. They're actually. It's a big store. Out between here and North Myrtle Beach area, out towards Tabor City, like out off number 9. And you know, she opened up Two Broke Teachers. Her and this other lady.
What do they do?
Really close to
Exactly.
Yeah, like home decor, reefs, and all this stuff. And I mean, they travel all over the country.
And they help teachers with it.
Yeah, and they you know, they do stuff for students and teachers, and they do all kinds of stuff with it. So.
It came in the blood. I mean, it runs through it.
Absolutely. So if here. You know me, I've always said my whole life, I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm that guy. I'm not going to be a teacher.
Everybody else
and
did.
You can ask them, I'm not going to be, because everybody else is. No. Well, I ended up being a teacher. And, you know, it just kind of, it just falls right in line. My grandma was a teacher, and it's a kind of a family deal.
Well, but, you know, they know what you're going through. And they've all been there. Every single one of them has it to the day-to-day, or they went through it. And, you know, I bet family dinners are interesting to talk about, you know, sometimes.
I'm telling you, like, my first couple of years, like the years that we, you know, like I said, we won 2 games or whatever, and because my dad's so competitive. He was, you know what, I'm starting to question if you really know what you're doing too. I'm starting to, you know, but he's at every game. He don't miss a game. He's one of my biggest supporters. You know, he's in the stand. He's gonna be the loudest person in the gym tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, and he turns 70 this year, but he's in good health, and he loves it. Gosh, he
Good,
loves
man.
it. He referees on the side, so he stays pretty active.
Good. Well, let's going into tomorrow a little bit. Let's talk about South Columbus and what what's the plan coming back? Because I know you're just getting some of your football guys back, and we can go as deep as this as you want. We don't have to go that far. I know we have some guys coming back with Jonathan Daniels. We have Kavion Griffin, Isaac Clarida, but there's also a couple new guys. That you had a kid come from Scotland. Can you tell us a little bit about what you got coming back, what the new guys are, or anything like that?
Yeah. So we open up tomorrow night, like you just said, South Columbus. It's kind of a weird situation. Football just lost. They had a great year. They just lost Friday night. So the four guys I got from football: Kavion Griffin, Nick, Isaac, and Mondo.
Mondo, I don't know how I forget about Mondo. God, I didn't know if you kept him or not. I love that kid.
It's a funny story with him too. I can tell that later if you want to. But I tell you, he didn't really talk to me much, and all of a sudden I told the guys, I was like, I don't know who this kid is. Y'all keep talking about how great of a teammate he is and how great he is. I don't even know this kid.
Yeah.
And this was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, every day from that point, hey, Coach Edwards.
Yeah.
That's what he would say. Every day, hey, Coach Edwards, what's up?
He's not a talker, that's for
like,
sure.
Well,
but.
I'll tell you what, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I had no intentions on keeping him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that first day on Monday, I was like, I gotta have this dude.
Yeah. He's
just that
one
guy.
of those guys that's going to dive on the loose ball. He's going to be the first one to pick somebody up. He's going to point somebody out after making a good pass.
And he may dribble off his leg 10 times
Yep.
in a row.
Yeah. Going to airball a shot every 1 out of 5 probably.
Absolutely. But so far he's a joy to be around. Man.
He is.
He's exactly what we needed. So that's him. And but when it comes to who we got returning, obviously you named some bigger names. You got Kavion Griffin, Isaac. You got Matt McKinney coming back. Yep. He's a big piece.
Have you got him to speak more than 5 words yet?
I'll tell you what, you're gonna be really shocked. Like Matt talks a lot now.
Good.
Talks a lot.
He needed to, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I've kind of forced him to. It's kind of like a forced habit now.
Yep.
But whatever it takes, right? I mean,
he's just one of those.
Sometimes you got to force a habit in somebody.
Exactly.
But he didn't really know how to talk, what to say, when to say it, how to say it. Especially with some of them other guys, he's always kind of taking the back seat to Kavion and some of them guys. And now when those guys walked into the gym and he was like, hey, it's different now. It's different. It was really fun to see.
Yeah.
So to see Matt, how he's grown and how he's had a tough last 6 months, man. That dude, he's had it rough. So he's kind of bouncing around from place to place, and piggybacking off of him is like the new kid.
Yep.
So we got Jerison Dixon. He transferred in from Scotland, and he just people think that we're related because we kind of look similar, but
I've never heard that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, people, we had the kind of same haircut, and just kind of.
Is there a relation?
There's not a relation at all.
Okay.
So obviously people from that area think that I got him to come here and all this stuff, but in all reality, I never even had a real conversation with him until he went to turn in his papers here.
That. You're always going to have that, man. I went through it too, with Matt. Like, you're always going to have that kind of battle that you're going to fight.
Obviously, whenever he's like, Coach, I want to, it just worked out because they have a house here in Ocean Beach.
Yep.
And they just wanted to get out of the situation they were in. His sister had just graduated, and she's at Wingate playing softball. But it's a great family, man. They just wanted what's best for him. They're like, we just want to put him in a good situation. Scotland basketball just wasn't really, it's not really good right now. Just location in general is not very good for what he wants to do. Because I'm gonna tell you, that's a hard-nosed dude.
See, I've never seen him play. I watched him. We went to a Christmas tournament at West Bladen last year, and I walked in and watched the last couple of minutes with Scotland playing somebody. I don't know. Like you said, they were having a down year last year, and I mean, it was the lone white kid on the floor pretty much. I do kind of remember that aspect of him, but I never met him, never got to watch him other than those probably last 2 minutes.
He's tough as nails.
Really?
And you look at him, he can shoot he can really shoot the basketball.
Really?
He can shoot.
There's a difference in levels. Like because I talk to JD till the blue in the face. Like there's a difference of guys who can just straight up shoot it or guys who think they can shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
He can shoot it.
He can shoot a basketball.
Good.
And
I'm excited to watch.
Yeah.
He can put the ball through the rim.
Really?
And he
At
can do
all
it
3 levels?
At all 3 levels, and he can do it at a high rate. You know, we're working on, you know, getting him to the next level. He's only a junior this year,
Yep.
so I got another year with him. You know, but, you know, next level is adding into you got to be able to get somebody into the offense. You
Yep.
got to be able to create shots too. You
Yep.
got to be able to, you know, do that part of your game because that's what you're going to have to do at the next level.
Yep.
Everybody can shoot at the next level.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like every 6'1", 6'2", you know, white kid at the next level, they can shoot the ball. That's what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. But not most of them are running
you
2
know,
guard at the next level
right.
either at 6'1", 6'2".
Right, and I said you got to be able to handle the basketball. And he can handle the basketball, you know, but he's never had to.
Yeah.
He's always just been the catch ball on the wing, shoot, attack, and get to the rim.
Yeah.
You know, he's got sneaky bounce. He can get up there and punch it. He's a good athlete, works hard in the weight room, but he's a culture changer. I mean, he's somebody that people gravitate to.
Good.
And, you know, whenever he's in the weight room, people follow how hard he works, and
Good.
he gets after every day in the weight room. He's drenched in sweat.
Good.
I mean, that dude works hard. So bringing him in, it kind of, you know, it fit exactly, you know, how I coach and how I do things. So, but then again, he obviously don't know our offensive stuff. He don't
Yeah.
know what I say. He fit in the sense of he also didn't know anything coming in, and so it's not like he just was ahead of the game of anybody. He was on the same level playing field. He just brought like a different intensity, which was good to have.
100%, yeah.
Great to have somebody like a different mentality other than myself coming in.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like, you know, everybody talks about having that coach on the floor, and, you know, kind of what you were talking about with Garrison, we were trying to move Matt from the natural position, which was a 2 guard, to the 1 position,
Yeah.
and he just, you know, as hard as he tried, that just wasn't natural to him. Are you going to try to put Matt at the 1 or Garrison more at the 1 this year?
yeah, so you know, that's also obviously the toss-up question is, you know, who's going to run the show for us?
Yeah.
Like, because I got plenty of dudes that can put the ball in the rim.
Yep.
You know, Kavion can score, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, Matt can score.
You got 7 guys who can put it all on high level.
Jerison can
man.
score the basketball. Isaac can score the basketball. Nick can score the basketball. Nick's playing well right now. You know, you got AJ. And you got. We're pretty deep, especially at the guard position.
That's
we're
how it's
pretty
been,
deep.
man.
You know, but a guy that's really come along here lately is going to kind of throw you for a shock, I think. But he's hitting his stride. He's sprinting the floor every possession. Jamarian Gore.
I love it. Yeah.
He's quiet, and I pick on him all the time. How he stands, he's very like gentle giant,
Yep.
just sitting in the corner. He's not
Yep.
going, you know. But I'm be honest.
He's a
with you,
freak
like-
athlete too.
Like right now, he's starting to figure out, and he's starting to hit his stride of like fitting in of how we need him.
Mhm.
And if I can prevent playing Isaac, and I know you had to play him a lot at the 5 last year, just
Yep.
because
We
it
didn't
is
have
what it is.
anything.
And I keep telling them the same thing. Like, I want to prevent playing him there, but I got to do what I got to do to win games.
Small
It is
ball,
what it
small
is.
ball works over there at West. It really does.
And I'm gonna tell you, if I got to play Isaac at the 5, I've already told him, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes.
Yep.
He's like, yes, sir.
And he is.
And
100%.
absolutely. And that's you know, the past week for sure, having a lot of time with Isaac. That's exactly the vibe that I'm getting from him.
Yep.
Whatever it takes,
Yep.
whatever he's got to do. So, the guys we got, a lot of the pieces. A lot of guys have kind of grown a little bit.
Good.
We don't have a lot of stuff in yet, but one thing you'll see tomorrow, we're going to defend really hard.
That's all it takes, man. If you can
Yeah.
play defense, that's all. If you can get them to buy into that defensive side,
Mm-hmm.
because naturally they're all able to run. They're all fast. They all can put it in the basket at any level that they want to. But if you can get them to where, again, if you don't have any offensive sets that are going to create those easy shots, because you haven't put them in yet.
Yeah.
If you can teach them how to play defense and get stops, and that's your easiest offense. That's your best offense, getting stops on defensive end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's it. But that's your. Like if your defense is
Yep.
your offense, there's no play I can call to get you a better shot.
No, and just icing on the cake is whenever you can teach somebody to put the ball, to get to create those open shots.
Right.
And that's what you're talking about, finding somebody who's going to be, and I've ran Kavion at the 1, I've ran him at the 2, I've ran him at the 4, I've ran him at the 5. He's always been that kind of guy that can, get us where we need to go. It's not always exactly how I want it to get there, but I feel like you've kind of found to be able to put them in the best situations possible for you guys, and you have 7 guys that can play all 7 positions,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's defensively or offensively, which is ever since Jaden Parker, Christian Williams, like West hasn't had the size. Jamarion is not a back to the basket kind of guy.
No.
He's a sprinter, he's a defensive guy, and he's going to get layups or putbacks or shape ups. That's who he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think that that's gonna, and they play well together. They all that's
Well,
I
you
feel
can tell
like
they've been playing for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they argue like that too. And I feel like
sure.
that man. I tell them, I said, do you guys even like each other sometimes? That's the conversations we used to have.
Well, what's fun to watch is obviously I've had the non-football players for the past long time.
Yep.
2.5 months or whatever, however long it's been, and which feels like, gosh,
it feels like forever,
God,
doesn't it? Aren't you so glad to finally play somebody?
Yeah. So but it's kind of funny how, Kavion, Isaac, and Nick, and them guys come in the gym, and it's just like natural. Like
Yep.
Kavion right away just blends into
Yep.
what's going on. Same thing with Isaac. It ain't like they come in try to overpower anything. They just blend it in.
Good.
Like they know what's going. Like they don't know like X's and O's what's going on. They're still trying to figure that out. But like they know where everybody's gonna be on the floor when they have to be there. Yeah, it's just that makes it easier coming in as a new head coach, having some guys with experience from a successful team from last year. So it's hard taking over a team like a South Columbus. It's just a grind to win. In those 2 games, one of them was South Brunswick.
Yeah.
And it was a grind. I think that game went overtime.
Yeah.
So like taking over this where it's good, it's established. They got great returners coming back. It's been a good little transition. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, so, kind of going off of that a little bit, let's talk about, your philosophy and your non-negotiables. All coaches kind of have their thing is like the one thing that you're going to hang your hat on. What is that for you for everywhere you have been, whether you said your family coach, your dad coach, like, there are things that I brought that I've talked to my dad about, but what is that one thing that you would say that you bring to every single program that's your non-negotiable, that we are going to do this and this is how we're going to do it no matter what, or you're not?
Yeah, and they know it, and if you talk to them, you're going to defend.
Yep.
And you'll see it tomorrow. And when I say defend, there's multiple things that branches off from defending, and that's what I'm just a huge stickler on. Like you're going to be in the help side. You're going to defend the way that I say defend. And how it works is this: you defend the way I want you to defend. I'm gonna go let you get your game on the offensive end. Like you got 5 to 8 seconds, go get a bucket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to sit here and reach around and trying to get a little chippy, and you're not going to leak out, and you're not going to do this stuff like that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because, that might be the Topsail, and that might be the South Brunswick, and that might be the, a South Columbus, that ain't beating Hanover.
Nope.
Ain't happening. And I tell them all the time, like you can't sit here and you're not going to beat Hanover doing what Hanover does. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things at Lumberton, and that's kind of what I have realized. Having a little bit of success against Hoggard and Hanover and Laney and some of those teams at Lumberton, not changing for who you play against.
Yep.
The good thing about being at Lumberton was they didn't know who Hanover was.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who Hoggard was.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't know who Laney was. So we went to Hoggard and like, all right, who's Hoggard? Like, we're going to do what we do, how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to beat us. It ain't about us like having to play Hoggard. Like you're going to have to play us.
And that's always been a kind of a fighting battle here. When you go over the bridge, like who's going to show up for us?
And that's kind of what I was transitioning into, because that's one of the first things when I got hired a job. Like, hey, good luck when you go over that bridge.
Yep.
One of the first questions I asked by a reporter is, how are you going to change these guys' mindset whenever they go over the bridge? I was like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? I obviously knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's the whole thing about it. I got to act like that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And if I act like it doesn't exist, and I approach it every single day, and they hear me talk about Hanover every single day. Every single day. And I was like, why? The other day, why I mentioned Hanover every single day? Because that's the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where
everybody wants to be.
Like, that's it. Like that's the standard.
Yeah.
Like they just played in the state championship. That's where we want to be.
Yeah.
Not saying we'll get there, not saying whatever. Can't predict all that stuff. But if that's not your standard, if that's not where you want to be, and that's not who you're trying to go at, then like what are we playing for?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I love that, and I agree with you, man. In the aspect of, you know, if you can't as a coach tell yourself that stuff doesn't matter, they'll never see it too. You know, we always, you know, it was such a hard thing. Everyone wanted to blow up the South Brunswick, West, North, and I mean that's at every school.
Right,
you know,
right.
Lumberton had those games where you know it
Pearl
wasn't
Sweat.
the greatest
Pearl
talent.
Sweat.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't the greatest talent games,
gosh.
but it was just one of those big games, and everybody got up for those. But if you can't, you know, the thought process of trying to change the mindset of the way you're approaching South game, you should be approaching that New Hanover game.
Absolutely.
You know, every single game should be to that magnitude, or to the vice versa. They all should matter the same. You know, that there's no bigger game than another, and that was such a hard thing to try to get people to understand and
That's
change
right.
around here.
And that goes everywhere.
Yeah, again, it is.
Yeah,
It's not
that
just
goes
here. That's everywhere.
Absolutely. And it might be a little, you know, bigger in some areas, and some rivals may be a little bit bigger. You know, but I'm telling you, at Lumberton, good gracious, they'd get so hyped up for Purnell Sweat. Every kid in the student section would show up for that game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're playing for the conference championship against 71st because nobody really cares about 71st.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, we're not showing. They don't even show up. I'm
For
like,
the conference
what's
championship.
going on, right?
Yeah.
This is backwards.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I definitely, you know, feel what you're saying when it comes
Yeah.
to that. And, you know, hopefully, I don't know, I've already talked to a few students to try to get some things going this
Yeah.
year that can stay consistent. But, like, basketball's a long season.
Yeah, it is.
Basketball's a long season, so.
It's not once
we'll
a
see how
week
it goes.
either. You know,
Right.
like football games,
Yeah.
student section can
2
show
or
up
3
on that
times a week,
Friday.
yeah.
2-3 times. You could have 3 games a week. 2 of them are at home, and you know these kids still work in the off season too. Like that's one thing I noticed around here. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's a grind. I mean, it was fun to do, and finding those small little things with the community and with the school
Yeah.
to try to get them hyped up for basketball season because, you know, in my opinion, basketball has been the most consistent winning, you know,
Yeah.
program for, you know, before I was even here. Like it's, you know, there's never been, other than the COVID year for us, there was never really a bad year at West from, you know, early 2000s kind of thing. And I think that's pretty cool to you know, see that continue, but people
Yeah.
don't think about it. People always show up for the baseball games, the football games, and I'm not saying that they don't show up for the basketball games, because man, that's a small gym.
Right.
And when and I don't think we ever played you guys Lumberton at West, but at least not when I
think
was
we
there.
scrimmaged one time.
Yeah, probably. But there's just never, you know, man, those South games, I mean, it's standing room only kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a cool environment. It really is probably the best environment that I've ever coached in, of just having, you know, the seats are filled pretty much every game, which
Kind
is
of like
kind
a
of
small
fun.
town feel. Like
It is. People shut down. I mean, because it's just such a touristy, seasonal
Yeah.
area that, you know,
Right.
people shut down and they got nothing to do. They're going to
Right.
come watch the games.
That's
but,
right. That's right.
No, I
Oh,
see
I'm
that.
excited. That's gonna be
Have
fun.
you haven't been to a game yet,
No,
have you?
no, and I'm
Just
filming
moving
tomorrow.
down here. You are filming tomorrow.
Mhm.
Good, man.
Yeah. So I'll be right there on the baseline.
I'm
hopefully,
curious
getting
how
some-
much
There you
hype's
go.
coming through this with the first game of the year, but usually first game of the year, I know it's Thursday's not bad. Usually they can try to do it on a Friday, but
Well, let me tell you a very interesting stat with our I can't get it said, but like schedule defect we got.
what?
We only have 2 home Friday night games all year.
That's brutal.
That's
Is that
awful.
because of?
That's awful. I don't know.
Why we can? I can talk about this a
Conference.
little bit later.
Yeah, conference schedule. You know,
That's
obviously
that's
that's not
that's
something.
brutal, man.
That's not something you know Coach Fletcher chose or anything like that. I know they draw straws or however it's random how they do. So they say in here it's random. You know, but obviously our first 3 conference games are Laney, Hogger, Hanover.
Yep.
That's random though.
Yeah, of course, 100%. I wonder what Hoggers is.
Right. But no, it's we got 2 home Friday night games. That's it all season.
You
I
got
mean, that's
Hanover for
the
senior
entire
night.
season. No.
No,
We have
South no, not South. It wouldn't be
Ashley
South.
this year.
Okay, I got
It's
you.
Ashley this year.
Well, I know. I mean, I was looking at the schedule last night. Ashley's 1-0. They won last night. Saw Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Cape Fear's 2-3 this year, coming off. They beat SCA, the private school down the road. They beat them the other night.
Yeah.
But I know, man. I hope you guys
The best big
destroy
kid
them
that was pretty good last year. He hasn't played yet.
at Cape Fear.
Yeah.
The
he
point
hasn't-
guard or the big
no,
guy?
the big kid.
The white kid?
6'6" kid.
Okay, yeah. He hasn't played yet.
No, he's had some problem with his knee.
Is that point guard still there?
No, he transferred to Laney.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, he's at Laney.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's good. He
Yeah,
he
he's
can
tough.
hoop, man.
He's
He
tough.
and I feel like he was handcuffed a little bit at Cape Fear because of their system. He's gonna be. I mean, He's gonna let him play at Laney.
He's a good fit at Laney.
Yeah.
Not for me, but he's a good fit for them.
But he kind of, I mean, he did a good job at running the show. Didn't take too many shots. And probably could have taken any shot he wanted on the court.
Too. He's strong.
And you talking about scary bounce?
Yeah.
First time I saw this kid, they're 6'6", missed a bunny. That kid you were talking about missed a bunny right there. This kid comes from the 3-point line within the split second and takes off from right in front of the free throw line and puts back two-handed. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fun game. This is gonna be interesting. How are we gonna defend this? But
I think he's going to Eastern Kentucky.
Is he really?
EKU, yeah. I think that's where he's committed to. So he's tough.
He ran there. Now the big dude was who everybody focused on, but I mean that point guard ran everything. I can't remember his name. I don't know why I can't remember his name.
I've got it actually written down already.
I bet.
But
I want you guys to beat them so bad.
He's tough.
We double overtime last year. I want you guys to beat them so bad. I want y'all to. I can't wait for that game. And you played them at home.
We played them this summer, and God, they're big. They got like
they are
42s.
I know.
Just give us one of those.
I know. They don't grow them down here
give
like that.
Give me the one that don't play much.
Yeah, put the one that's in 2 minutes a game.
Give me that 6'6" kid you just put in at the end of the game.
Isn't that a dream to kind of have something like that, to be able to pull out? I mean, I feel like around here it's always been guard situation, but look back at some of those teams that you've either coached against, coached with, or played against. Just being able to look to the bench and you see 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". We ain't never had that.
Just options.
What kind of height do you have?
Our biggest is 6'2".
Is that Jamarion or is it Isaac?
Jamarion, I mean
they're all the same size
right there. I mean,
so just
Isaac might have a little bit because he's grown his hair out and he's a little poopier, but like that's it. I mean, whenever he braids his hair, he looks. I mean, he's
dead front, backside help the helper.
That's it. And
you have to.
We're going to definitely we're taking away all penetration, taking away gaps.
Are you up the lane or are you straight deny?
We force middle.
Force middle. So, okay.
And here's
that's be a transition.
Right. And that has been a transition. Yeah. And here's my main reason for that. Whenever you got a smaller team, and because at Lumberton, it ain't like we had huge guys. I mean, my bigs were, and don't get me wrong, like my bigs were 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
But it's not like they were 6'9", 6'10".
They also weren't exactly bat to the basket kind of guys either.
Right.
Yeah, they were athletes.
They were just good football athletes, ran the floor, and what I got now. And but I'll tell you this, like in college, what I learned in college, like whenever I played, whenever I coached, force baseline. But we always had 6'11" down there to clean stuff up.
True.
And I kind of those years of struggling at South Columbus, I figured we force baseline. We struggled. I said, something's got to change. Something's got to get. Well, I actually watched Coach Sampson's group at Houston. And this was the year, this was a couple years before they blew up big. They go to the Final Four runs. But they had a bunch of, smaller JUCO guys, and they, this is when they were coming onto the scene. And he had just got a job at Houston, and they had a bunch of 6'6", 6'7" kids, and
that's advertising
at high major Division I. That's what I'm dealing with now, right? So what he did, and I just watched a few games, and he was forcing middle, and I was like, I don't know why you giving up middle to these guards. Well, in all reality, the baseline is the most vulnerable spot on the basketball floor.
You don't have someone that's willing to step in on that line.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you don't have somebody that can clean that sucker up and make sure you're there, like, constantly to help you out.
Yeah.
You force middle, it's funneling everything back to our guard help, where we're strong at.
Yeah.
If we're forcing middle, we're forcing everything back to Kavion instead of forcing everything to Jamarion.
Yeah.
We're forcing everything back to the Isaacs, the Matts, our better athletes towards the middle of the floor. So I tried it one year, and I sold out to it, and I was like, "What I got to lose? We just won 7 games. Like
try it out."
And all of a sudden that year we jumped up to like 16 wins, and I was like, "Well, this might be a little something." And we were like one of the better defensive teams in the league. Teams struggle to score.
Well, I was gonna say one of the hardest shots in the world is the mid-range jump shot or a floater or something in that range. No one can hit that.
Well, you think about it now. How many dudes take a mid-range jump shot?
None.
I mean, it's kind of like they say it's like the lost art of basketball. And it truly is. You force people to that elbow, and people struggle to score.
They don't know what to do once they get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, people struggle to score, and coaches don't coach it.
How are you teaching the help side defender or like the closest guard defender off of that play? So like let's balls on the wing, forcing middle. What are you doing with that closest defender?
So, obviously you got the whole, if you do the shield drill, you got 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass. 1 pass away, my whole thing is 1-and-1, 1 big step, 1 big step. Now, obviously in the game it's not, you can't count out steps.
Are they open? Are they closed?
No, so they're ball man, but they're shaded with hand in the passing lane.
Okay.
So, obviously we're shaded towards our defender or our guy we're guarding, but our head is on a swivel towards ball because the one thing that can kill you on the basketball court is the ball.
Yep.
If you don't stop ball,
you're done. Yep.
So we got our better athletes in the middle of the floor. Obviously, we're not complete. You know how when like a lot of coaches and I think you've taught baseline, right? Or sideline.
I taught
sideline, I think. Right?
It was kind of like a hybrid kind of thing. We taught baseline, sideline, and it was
and
like
there's no right or wrong.
L
It's
trap,
not like,
helper. No, there's not. It's just what works for you.
Right.
That's how it is,
Right.
and what you know.
And so it's not a boom. We're just complete, funnel middle.
Yeah.
We're just shading middle.
It's not pack line.
No. It's not the extreme pack line. I don't put I've been to plenty of Tony Bennett's practices at Virginia. I'm not taping no line right here on the midline.
Yeah.
We're just completely giving up the whole backside. But first guy's going to obviously he's going to hard show. If they're attacking middle, it's a hard show back into the passing lane and we're denied.
Okay.
And then like second dude, you're going to have at least 1 foot in the paint. If he gets beat, you're complete surrender.
Yep.
I mean, you're complete stop basketball.
And then are you rotating? So skip out?
Mm-hmm.
Are you rotating back or are you rotating
so
closest
backside
man?
so backside guy is first pass out.
Yeah.
If this dude right here rotates, you got to be first pass out, no matter who it is.
Yep.
And that's one thing we've been hitting hard on this week, but especially with the new guys.
Rotation off of that.
Right. And so like if you force middle, you gotta have some good guard athletes to do this. It's not like obviously if I was at Cape Fear, we couldn't be running this because you don't have 5 dudes on the floor that can just go get it.
Yeah.
But me having success with like just smaller teams, guards that can just athletic, bringing it in here. So far, it's looked really good. We scrimmaged Jack Britt. We had a scrimmage last Saturday, and I will tell you something. Teams struggle to score on us.
Yeah.
And we ain't have Kavion, Isaac,
none of them,
and them yet. And I'm gonna tell you, like Jack Britt's loaded this year. They had 2 transfers come in, and I think they scored 28 points.
Wow.
30 points.
Wow.
I mean, it was just we just make it hard, and I'm focusing on being solid right now. We're going to expand off of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move to the full court some, and we're going to there's some other things I'm going to expand off of this thing. But you're going to see a very basic sit and guard and a half court tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You're not going to see because I haven't had much time to put stuff in
exactly.
with my guys yet. And before there's some other bad habits that I don't want to throw out there. I'm gonna make sure they know what they're doing so I can show them on film of what some good stuff, some bad stuff, and then we can move forward.
Yeah.
So we haven't had a scrimmage with our whole team, so I ain't saying this is a scrimmage game, but this is a,
figure out who we are.
These first few games, exactly, we're gonna figure out who we are.
Yeah.
Because right now we don't know yet.
Well, and one of the beautiful things that really does help with it are your returning guys. Like it's not like this is the first time a lot of these guys have been on the floor together, which is going to help, and it allows you to have that freedom a little bit. Mm-hmm. I want to, because we could do this for hours talking defensively, but I have one quick question on defense again, and I got one quick question on offense real quick, and then we'll pretty much close up after that.
That's fine.
Screen game. All right, how, I've done, we called it orange, which was basically a hard hedge, which a lot of people do, show through the gap, help the helper kind of thing. Let's talk on-ball screens. What are you doing guard to guard? What are you doing big to guard, screen-wise? So
I noticed a lot of stuff you did was obviously guard to guard switch.
Mm-hmm. Off-ball mainly, especially.
Off-ball mainly, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm piggybacking right off of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the easiest way to defend off-ball screens, especially guard to guard.
Yeah.
Is that, especially at the high school level.
Yeah.
And but on ball, we do something called shadow.
Okay.
And that's what's going that's the only thing I've even installed right now. And it's a soft hedge. We're going to force because we force middle. We don't, we force them to use the ball screen.
Yeah.
So force them to use the ball screen. We take our
Switching
better
your feet.
athletes.
Yeah.
and we're forcing him over the top, we're getting over the top.
Okay.
So
as the on-ball defender,
as
you're
the
going
on-ball
over the top.
defender,
Okay.
we're going over the top, and
Yep.
we're going to push through the screen. We're going over the top. One, that picks up a lot of offensive fouls.
Yep.
It does. It really does. Two, it forces our better athletes to stay engaged.
Mm-hmm.
It forces them to stay engaged. So you got
with the direction you want them to go.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's not many
So-
screens that are getting set
so
to
the
send
only-
them to the baseline.
The only difference between a hedge and a shadow, for what we call it, is how we're open. So like when your hedge is boom, foot to foot, get out, jump, force him back to where
Mm-hmm.
we came from.
Yep.
Make that guard retreat dribble.
Yep.
Right, or get out of his hands, whatever the case
Yep.
is. Shadow is kind of similar, but what we're doing is just forming an umbrella for our guard to get back over and help. So what we're giving up in this is when the guard attacks middle, we're giving up same side shooter.
Now that's what I was gonna say. So same side shooter, your help, that defender on that, he's stopping the slip or that that slip pass that right there. And so what can be thrown back is the thrown back pass, right?
Yeah.
Is that what
So,
you're talking about? Yeah.
Exactly. So the same side shooter, he's the one that's going to be shooting that free safety pretty much. He's the guy that's going to be making that read. He's got to be there if they throw the ball to the big if rolling off of it. Now we're going to have different ball screen coverages for 24 from Hogger.
Yeah.
You can't defend him like that because it is what it is. Like you got to stay connected to that dude.
Yeah.
And you can't go under a ball screen to McGrath. That's just stuff you can't do. And so there's different ball screen coverages. Red is our hard hedge, and stuff like that I haven't put in yet. But right now we're going to be in like a shadow base. We're going to be that's our base. Big to guard ball screen coverage. Obviously, if it's guard to guard, we're going to switch it. We're going to keep forcing.
Which
middle.
most of the guys other than Jamarion, it is guard to guard pretty much. I mean,
Right.
I know it's who you're defending,
Right, no,
but
exactly.
there's not much of a height difference between
Exactly.
Matt McKinney and
Yeah.
Kavion, whether who's guarding the big and who's not.
But see, that makes it easier.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily like easy to teach because you got to keep them engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But guard to guard, my gosh, whatever you run, it don't matter if it's the Princeton, it don't matter if it's the flex, it don't matter what it is. Guard to guard, switch it.
Switch it. Yep.
Guard to guard, switch it. When you switch, put a form in the chest
Bump
and roll on.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. I guess the easiest way to do it.
Well, to go on to, we'll switch to the offensive side a little bit. I know when I kind of got to a lot of the smaller area of West Brunswick, we switched to a lot of the Spain PNR stuff because it really spread out the floor and it allowed to, backdoor cuts in this Princeton style and pitch to the corner, ball screen, roll, try to hit. We usually had a guy who could shoot the ball at the high post extended kind of thing, and I felt like that really helped us. And I know, like you said, you haven't implemented nothing offensively pretty much. Defense turns into offense, but what is your, whether it's something that you're bringing from Lumberton because you are coaching a lot of the same style of kids, or are you trying to bring something new? Like, what's your thought process? Without giving too much, of course.
Right. I'm definitely, I'm going to add some tweaks into what, we've done in the past with my teams at Lumberton. But it's going to be, especially early, remotely, the same look offensively until we can have some time, maybe Christmas break, to incorporate some new things where we can have a whole week of practice and stuff like
with
that.
Everybody.
Right, with everybody. Obviously, we put in some secondary stuff to put them in some space, teaching these guys how to get, teaching JD how to get open to the corners and, throw his ace. My whole thing is like, listen, like, you got to throw your ace.
Yep.
If you're trying to do what Kavion is really good at, then you're not doing what you're really good at.
Yep.
Then that puts, Isaac in a situation to have to do what you're really good at, and then all of a sudden Isaac's not throwing his ace and doing what he's best at, and that's kind of like what we're trying to figure out right now is what's everybody's ace and what how are we going to spread this thing out, and how in our secondary it looks kind of weird because a lot of dudes say, all right, 5 men take the ball out and let our guards run. Well, my playmaker is going to take the ball out. A lot of better teams pressure now. Kavion's gonna take the ball out for me.
Because if it gets back to him, then you got your best guy handling the ball.
And I'm gonna have a Matt, Dixon, some guys like they're going to be first pass, catch it, they're going to attack. Well, Kayvion's going to be my safety net.
Yep.
Because when he gets it now, he can go make a play.
Yep.
And so that's kind of, that's what we've got in so far.
Yeah.
There's, outside of that, it's kind of reaching for straws right now.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, you got to figure out what everybody's good at.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who scores at what position, how well they do it, and things may change too.
Right.
That's everybody's gonna hit their stride at some point in the season, and some might hit it later than others, and figure out what works for you guys. But I like it. Last thing, all right. So we talked about it as something that we brought in for the last episode. It's kind of our Mount Rushmore kind of thing. We did find this out. Not too smart basketball guys, but there are only 4 Mount Rushmore. I did not realize that. At one point, I thought there was 5. We had to look. Me and WA had to look that up. Man, there's only 4. Well, that helps us out a little bit. Mount Rushmore this week is going to be of North Carolina high school basketball gyms. Your top 4. Your Mount Rushmore, whether you played in it, whether you've coached in it, whether you just watched a game in it. Let's go one by one. What's yours? First one.
Whew. Well, I got to go with the Final Four game at the Capo Arena at Fayetteville State. That's got to be. I mean, it was.
Well, let's go high school gyms.
Okay,
high school gyms, not college, because of course you can throw in K-ville
I got you.
Roy and everything.
I got you. Whew. High school gyms. Let's see. Well, I mean, Brogdon Hall's got to be.
Yeah, that's up there.
It's just the atmosphere.
That's New Hanover for people who don't know the area as much.
Hanover,
That's New Hanover, and they just got a facelift pretty much this past year, and it is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's nice, and so it's. I've never played in it when it was packed.
Yeah, me neither. I've seen them, but I've never played
Right, and I've seen it packed. I've never played in it when it was packed, but just walking into Brighton Hall it's a little different.
You feel history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
I would say my number one. I don't know. Again, out west you haven't gone too much, but man, when R.J. Reynolds went to the Blacktop, that was one of the coolest because it was such an old school gym in general. R.J. Reynolds is Winston-Salem. Yeah. It's been there forever. Man, when they changed that, because their head coach or former head coach was real, very close with Michael Jordan and everything, and they were one of the first teams sponsored by Jordan high school basketball teams. Man, they got that blacktop. That was one of the coolest things. I was at High Point Central before I came here.
Okay.
And so we played R.J. Reynolds in conference every single year. And man, I tell you, that was one of the coolest courts that I've ever been a part of. That was pretty cool. That's my number one, probably. Then I would go with number 2 is probably Brogdon. Yeah. Brogdon's one of the next one. What's your next one?
Let's see. Whew.
You could go all different. The looks, history, all that.
Right, and that's what I'm kind of like leaning towards right now is more of like a history gym instead of like it's not very big, but like the environment, the whole layout is just it's a weird place to play. But I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite places to play, and it's kind of in the hood, but Hoke County.
Hoke County, yeah, dude.
Hoke County. It's
where they got the 2 split of the bleachers.
Yes.
They got the doors open.
I'm telling you, and every time we played there, they always had the band. It felt like you're at it's like a North Carolina A&T.
Yes.
I'm sure they get after it.
Yeah, dude.
And Lumberton apparently was a big game for Hoke, and that little place
fills up quick too. And it's hot in there. They got the doors open. I went to a state playoff game when I was at High Point Central. We played them first round, and man, I mean. Like I said, it's the bleachers are split in the middle. They got the doors, the outside open. People are watching from in. They go outside, smoke a cigarette, come back inside. Like it's crazy. It's a cool environment. That's true.
It's a weird environment, but I'm telling you that little gym. The times we played in it, it was packed and it was crazy. I mean, you can hear yourself think band, drum line, all the around the sideline, around the baseline.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think my next one would. And we talking about carrying on with history, and I played there back. I mean, it was still when they had the new gym, but Laney, man, playing on that court with Michael in the middle, the old one, yeah. New one, I mean, the new one's just like every other high school gym.
Nice.
It's like Hoggard. It's a nice gym, nothing against it, but just the special of, being in that back gym where he played, and every kid wants to play in that gym. You see it. When I was playing there, they took them all down recently. I feel like they had Jordan pictures everywhere.
Oh yeah.
They were all over the walls. They had a symbol in the middle, kind of thing. It was pretty cool and special to play on the court, and then being able to coach against it too was pretty cool.
I actually find it really cool that I didn't even know they did this year, but like the JV games were played in that gym while we play.
Hoggard's the same way.
Yeah, That's bad.
Yeah,
I haven't had
Topsail's the
that.
same way.
Really?
I didn't know. It's different. It's kind of hard because the games overlap with the girls' games, and you'll kind of find that balance of getting people in the right places. But it does allow. I wish we could do that at West just for the lone purpose of you're gonna get out when you get out, but it'd be pretty cool to be able to watch it a little bit in that bag gym. But that bag gym is tiny at West. It is.
Yeah.
Wasn't done the way that I would choose to be done, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
What's your next one after Hope?
Whew. Next one after Hoke will probably also not a big gym, but it's a crazy environment. Probably have to go with Raleigh Millbrook.
Okay, I've never been there.
Yeah,
Why? What's your reasoning?
You would think Millbrook, massive gym, massive just nice. They got money. Yeah, they got plenty of money and all that stuff. But you got Apex Friendship. You got all them other Raleigh schools around them that are newer, and the gyms are big. I mean, that gym's a little bit bigger than West Brunswick.
Yeah.
But, it's about half the size of Laney. It's kind of the size of Laney's old gym.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's got the old school feel to it, and massive student section. Crazy environment, and obviously they got tons of talent.
They're good too.
Tons of
Year
talent.
in, year out. Yeah.
But when you walk in there, you just see multiple state championship banners, and you're like, "Oh, was that golf?" No, basketball.
All the
Men's
way
basketball.
across. Yeah.
All the way around. I'm like, good gracious.
It's impressive. It's an impressive sight.
Yeah.
I would say my next one, and I don't know why I forget about it because I was there, but man, have you ever been to High Point Central's gym?
Mm-mm.
Their new one. Well, when I say new, it's probably 2013, 2014, they built an annex gym. So it's 100 yards, 200 yards from the actual school. And High Point Central is very old school money, the furniture market kind of style stuff. But like you said, you got the hood on one side and you got the richest people in America on the other side.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. There's no in between, but they put so much in that gym. And it's 2 decks. So there's the bottom level of it, and then they got the track around. We had a really good indoor track program at High Point, a track program in general. So they built an indoor track above the top. They had classrooms back there, then they had another level up top.
Cool. Yeah.
But the coolest part, man, they had a jumbotron coming from the middle. So they had the scoreboard hanging from the middle of the floor that score on all 4 sides. That was pretty cool. That was one. You felt like you were in a college.
Yeah.
And coaching there, I was like, Coach. When we could fill it up, of course, it was like a college arena every single time. That's my 4th one, man. That was Mike Cook did a really good job, and whoever else was, the AD principal, whoever else was involved in designing that, they did a good job for sure. What's your last one?
Whew, it's a toss up, because I'm gonna tell you, there's one it's by far the 2 craziest environments I've ever been in. Was this past year in the 4th round of the playoffs, and then every time we play Fairmont.
Really?
Fairmont's a very old school wooden bleachers. They turn the heat wide open. It's just I think I hate playing there more than it's
But
enjoy
it's something
the
you
environment.
remember, yeah.
But it's just like it sticks out as like that's one of the craziest environments. But I'm gonna tell you, I've never experienced anything like we did at Sanderson. In
Really?
The 4th round last year. Oh yeah, I've never experienced anything.
Crowd,
like that. Just a small gym about the size of West Brunswick. That place was slam packed, and it was 5-6 rows deep on the baseline.
Yeah.
The student section was right behind our bench. I mean, they put them right behind our bench, and they just talk pure trash
The whole time.
The whole time, and they loved it. And I don't know if it's like people had rings, and they would like ding 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 ding, and they would ding them things. Man, it was crazy. Ooh. Like I could not hear. Like our players could not hear in the huddle.
While you're talking
and I
to
was
them.
screaming, and they could not hear what I was saying.
Yeah.
That was one of the crazy high school environments I ever experienced.
Well, man, I think that's about it for what we got tonight, and we appreciate you coming out. I know we talked about. I wanted to talk about it again in the aspect of, you don't get that much time with your family and your wife and your kids that you want to, and you've been able to take this time out just to spend an hour with us, and hopefully get this out there. I know Smiley, you said, is gonna blast it everybody.
Oh man, he's gonna share it a million times.
And I know you don't, you haven't had much chance to get your face out there as much as you want to the community, and hopefully this is a way to get your platform out there and just show you what Wes is about, and hopefully you hit the ground running tomorrow too, man. We're excited to go watch.
Absolutely, I'm excited to have you out there.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
man.
it.
And shout out WA. I hope your pop's feeling better. We'll see you next week. Okay. Thank you guys.